Yo guys, welcome back, it's Mr. Vince, and today we are going to be counting down the top 5 worst newer season rewards in Jailbreak. Now, some of these rewards I can't show because, well, it's just something you can't get in the garage. So, in case you guys are wondering, if I get a reward that is not part of the garage or guns, then I will probably not show you guys it because you probably already know it if you played the older seasons in Jailbreak. Now, these are all based on my opinion and no one else's. Now, before I get started, if you guys are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. And the season we are in right now is Season 4 Epic Adventures. This means that you cannot get any of the past rewards besides the Season 4 rewards. So, yeah, if you're watching this video in the near future, then the season you're in or the rewards that you can get as long as you follow the following requirements in the level you're in. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Number 5 is the rocket fuel in Season 3 Looking Back. Season 3 Looking Back was the only season to include rocket fuel. In order to get rocket fuel, you had to simply reach level 2. And that was it. You get a full rocket fuel, which basically almost no one uses. Well, some people do use it for quick getaways, for a vehicle that is pretty slow in launch. But in this case, you could just use like a Model 3 or Roadster to get away. But in this case, rocket fuel is probably pointless for Season 3. The rest of the seasons we had did not include rocket fuel. Seasons 1 and 2 included 10 free C4s at level 2. And Season 4 allowed players to get the Earthquake gun skin at level 2, which was actually a piece of cake, not gonna lie. But in this video, rocket fuel is pretty pointless for me, in my honest opinion. So because I don't use rocket fuel, I put this at the number 5 spot. It's not bad or anything, but it's probably something that most players would probably not use. But for me, I definitely don't use rocket fuel that much because I don't like wasting a lot of stuff. So that's why I put this at number 5. Number 4 is cash. And when you think about it, cash is pretty nice and all. But cash is pretty pointless. In Seasons 1 and 2, you could get cash at a specific level. Now, I believe you had to reach level 7 in both seasons with the Season Pass to get them, although I could be mistaken. Because in this case, in all the seasons, level 7 is a Season Pass level, so you had to have the Season Pass to get the reward. In Seasons 1 and 2, you could get cash, and Season 1 was awful for cash. You could only get, I believe it was about 23,000. In Season 2, upgraded it to, I think it was about 30,000. So that was ridiculous for Season 2. But it wasn't that good for, the Season Pass. I mean, the only good thing is that if you don't have a lot of cash and not that many vehicles, it's good for players to, get better vehicles like the Model 3 or Neandergator. But in this case, they could just get some better ones like, all those. And at level 30, of course, for 30,000 cash, you can get the level 3 brakes. And that could also include Season 1, because you can also get the level 3 brakes because it is cheap, not gonna lie. Let's go ahead and go on to number 3. Number 3 is probably something that I, especially myself, would probably not use for a while. So I'm gonna use this Ferrari, and I'm going to explain what it is. In the number 3 spot we have is the generic, planetary rims. And, well, the planetary rims are pretty nice and all, but there are actually a couple downsides with the planetary rims. Now, back in Season 2, I was really excited for the planetary rims because they were amazing. It was super exciting, and I really liked them. However, there were problems with the planetary rims. In some vehicles, such as the Beam Hybrid, most notable because, of course, it's probably the only vehicle that has this, but the planetary rims, the black part of it, would not show up in the Beam Hybrid most of the time. Now, another thing about the planetary rims is that if you apply either fog chrome or regular chrome, you can actually make a really detailed color of it. Radiant orange and yellow don't work really well for the black part, but only chrome and fog chrome work for this. Because, of course, the entire thing is reflected at this point. And that was the case since the May update, if you guys were extremely curious. Now, I'm not really into the planetary rims nowadays because, you know, it probably looks kind of boring nowadays, but it's still a pretty decent reward nevertheless. That's why I put this at number 3. It's not bad, but it's probably the worst rims you could get in seasons. And once again, you cannot get this nowadays, but it was a reward you could get in Season 2. You needed to be level 3 with the Season Pass to get it. Over on number 2 is, of course, another bad one, but once again, it's not the worst. At the number 2 spot is the Volt Wing spoiler. Now, the reason why I put this instead of most other spoilers for seasons is because, well, in Season 4, which was indeed the 3rd season to include spoilers, I believe, well, you know, Season 2 offered really good spoilers. Well, the Star Wing wasn't that bad, but it wasn't the worst either. Thrusters were amazing. And then we also had Tiki Torches and the Depth spoiler, which is really nice. And, of course, like I said in an earlier video, the Depth Trap spoiler cannot be customized in terms of color, but you can customize the Tiki Torches, as well as the internal flame. However, the Volt Wing is one of the few, you know, rewards in the seasons that actually had a weird name in it. It would say spoiler.voltwing, and it was supposed to be fixed, but it was not fixed, and it was unknown why. I mean, I don't know if they're aware of the glitch, but eventually it will be fixed. But for now, you're just gonna have to deal with this weird bug that occurred with the Voltwing. Now, this was supposed to be based off the Volt 4x4 spoiler, but the reason I put this at number 2 is because it didn't really offer a purpose. And the Star Wing, well, it did, and it looked a lot better than the Volt Wing. Although the Volt Wing is still pretty decent for a spoiler, just not the best. It is the worst spoiler of all the spoilers we had in seasons. So let's go on to number 1. Number 1 has to be my least favorite season reward of all time. And if you guys have played the previous seasons, most of you know what it is. It is the level 10 grand prize for Season 2 Out of This World, being the Crew Capsule. The Crew Capsule is a Season 2 reward that you could have got if you reached level 10 with or without the Season Pass in Season 2 New Beginnings. I'm sorry, Season 2 Out of This World, because Season 1 was New Beginnings. The Crew Capsule is the worst area vehicle of all the area vehicles in the game. It is the slowest of them all, and it's barely faster than an ATV and about the speed of a Camaro. Before the Spring 2021 update, the Crew Capsule was much, much worse. The altitude is about the height of the police garage, making it almost impossible to reach the top of the prison. The only way to do it is to get to one of the electric fences and try to get the Crew Capsule to fly higher, or just go on one of the tree trunks if you can see through the tree, and you will ascend a little bit, not as much the electric fence, and I believe that would work too, although it's not as much because, well, the tree trunk is a little lower than the electric fence, thus it's pretty hard to, you know, climb on the prison. The reason why I put this at number 1 is because it was not worth getting it in as a grand prize for all the seasons, of course. Yes, it's an area vehicle, and because you could spawn in the garage, this was extremely overpowered if it was a lot faster than this. Now, overall, this is not a good vehicle to use, in my honest opinion, but of course, it's pretty good for stats, I guess. But again, it's the worst because it's not really worth the grand prize. And of course, I will end the video here. If you guys enjoy it, leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and as always, I'm Mr. Vince. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.